We say that a lot. It's not personal, it's just business. I've said that myself. But I want to give a little bit of pushback on that today, based on a recent conversation I had with two men who had reached out to me from Eastern Europe to tell me about a business opportunity they had for me. It started with this one guy who sent me a message on social media. You know, one of those, "Hey, so glad we're connected. I'd love to tell you about a business opportunity" messages. Yeah, I get hundreds of those. And I'm about ready to hit delete, like I do with all of them, and a sentence caught my attention. He had a line that said, "We've met before. I was in one of your audiences." Well, this kind of changed things a little bit. I mean, it felt a little bit more personal, and I didn't want to be rude. I am from the South, after all. So I thought, okay, let me at least answer his message and hear him out. So I gave him my business email, and we started to correspond by email. And he told me all about the company he works for. It's a sales company in another country, and how we do what we do is very similar, and they've always wanted to come to the US, and maybe I'd be a good link to get them there, and blah 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 blah. And so he's going on, and truth be told, I'm half listening. I'm busy, I've got a million things going on, and he's really not speaking to anything I feel like I need right now. There's nothing in it for me, and he's really just some guy that I met in one of my audiences. So I was sort of giving it, half my attention. And he kept pushing and said, "Hey, I would love to at least have a conversation and put you in front of the owner of the company." And I started to say no, but I'm from the South. I had a moment of weakness, and I thought, it couldn't hurt to hear him out. So I said, okay, let's have a Skype call. So we go through that, the emails going back and forth, trying to coordinate our calendars and find it so three people could find a moment when they all had the same time. And we set it up, and next thing you know, I'm on a Skype video chat. I had told my husband in advance. He said, "What you got going on today?" I said, "Well, I got a call with these two guys from Eastern Europe who want to talk to me about a business opportunity." And my husband's like, "What? You're going to talk to him?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm going to hear him out. One of the guys was in one of my audiences at a national convention, and we met apparently." And my husband was like, "Well, what are they? What do they want you to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm not even sure. I don't even think they're sure." And he was like, "Well, don't give them your credit card number." And I was like, I'm not going to give them my credit card number, as if I would do something like that. Again. So we're on the call. We're all signing on, and we're in that initial clunky stage of people signing in and cameras getting shifted, and we're all in different locations. Obviously, we're in different parts of the world. I'm in my living room. The other guy's in a coffee shop, and the owner of the company, I think, was in his kitchen, or he could have been in prison for all I know. Stranger things. And all these thoughts are running through my head, like, how's this conversation going to go? And I had checked out the company, so at least I knew they were a legitimate company. I could give them that. And I was thinking, well, how's this going to go? Who's the one selling? Who's the one having the conversation? And what if this actually does turn out to be a legitimate opportunity, and then I need to be ready to go and sell myself? So it was kind of clunky at first, as in who's going to take, initiative and start. We're kind of talking over each other. And finally, the owner says, he takes the reins of the conversation, and he says, "Well, I'd like to begin with an apology." I thought that was a little odd, but he said, "I want to apologize for showing up to this meeting in a jogging suit." Well, I didn't even notice. I mean, shoot, for all he knew, I was in my pajamas from the waist down. But he said, "I want to apologize for being in my jogging suit." He said, "You see, today it's the time when we pick our kids up from school." He said, "And it's my day to pick our kids up from school and take them to the park." And he said, "And today is Martin's birthday." And he turns his computer to the side so I could see behind him on the wall, and there's this big sign that says, "Happy Birthday, Martin." And in that moment, a wall went down. Something shifted. Because in that moment, he wasn't some guy with a thick accent, supposedly wanting to sell me something. He was a dad who takes his kids to the park, just like my husband. And in that moment, that wall went down, and I don't know, I stopped looking at my clock. I stopped worrying about what his motive was, and I just listened, and I stepped into his story, and we talked about our kids, and I showed him mine. I said, "Hey, Will, come in the camera, show him, wave to the guy," and we were off. And the rest of the conversation doesn't really matter, but that one moment does matter. Because as I look back, I see what happened in that moment. something very important in that moment. Before we were able to get to the point where he was going to influence me or sell me something or get my buy-in or whatever that may be, he had to first develop a connection with me. He had to first become human. And we often discount that in business when we're trying to impact and influence. When we say it's nothing personal, it's just business, we tend to forget that in order to influence someone else, well, first we have to get them to like us, to trust us, to believe what we have to say, and to just for one moment let them feel like we have something in common and that they know us. And those words like trust, believe, know, well, it's personal. So next time you're quick to say, it's nothing personal, it's just business, I don't know, maybe you want to think twice.